live. This is just a quick live. I just wanted to just take a few minutes and kind of show you guys some things that are going on. Hopefully, I can bring this up. I'm still trying to work out all the kinks so I can get it up on my channel here. Huh. Geez, I don't even show up as live. I'm not live. Let me see. Go back. See if we're there. There we are. Okay. Let me turn down the volume here so I'm not listening to myself talk. Let me turn down the volume here. I'm not listening to myself talk. There we go. And anybody's invited in. So, well, you can let me know if you like this angle better. Hopefully, it's a good angle for you. I'm gonna bring up my TV here as well as I can, if I can. There we are. Oh, good. Now I'm up on my big screen here too, and on my laptop. So, finally, a decent live stream. Well, that's left to be said. Yeah, we'll get to that when we see it. But thanks for the vote of authority of confidence there. So what I'm doing this morning is I'm kind of trying out something new that I got recently. When I used to make pins, and I don't make them much anymore, I used to just get the pieces and cut them, and I'd put them on my drill press, and I would run the 7 millimeter drill or whatever size drill bit I was doing through with the drill press. But recently, I purchased or got this from BM Wood Turning, and, wanted to check it out. And hopefully, my microphone's working good today. And so I thought I'd give it a couple tries and see how that was going. And so far, seems to be doing really well. It took me a minute to kind of figure out the best method. You can't do a long piece on it. It's really hard to bore through, say, a 5-inch piece all at once. It's better to have the sections cut first. There we go. It's better to have your sections cut into the two pieces you're going to use for a pin, or the one, like, say, 3.5 inch piece. And yep, it's like we're through. So pull this back out, slow this down. Looks like I'm backing off just a bit there. Okay, so, and it works pretty good. It goes through it pretty quickly. This is mahogany, and it's one of the little pins I want to be doing this week. There we go. And it seems to work pretty quickly for what I need, and it holds everything lined up nicely in place. So I have my two mahogany pieces here. But then I wanted to see how it would do on spalted maple. I have this spalted maple, and kind of hold that up here so you can see what it looks like. And we'll see how it does with this, because I'm not sure. Spalted maple has a tendency to break out, and doesn't it's not the strongest piece of wood. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. try this one. That's not good. It's not a good start. Let me see here. Make sure I've got a good fit in here. Get nice and tight. Okay. Bring it in just a little bit. There we go. One of the things I really don't like is how long of a stretch you've got from here to here. It does tend to give you a little bit of wobble. You don't have as much of straight control. You really have to kind of press it in to make sure that you have control there. But once it gets going, and maybe, and this is a learning piece, but maybe putting a little dimple in the wood where you want to have the drill bit go might be a good idea, simply because it gives you a faster, a kind of a starting point for the bit to go in. But as you can see, it does work pretty quickly, and you don't have to do a lot of work to get that, and it's pretty precise. So, what do you got? What are you guys saying over here? Hi, Donna. I know you guys are all enjoying your Labor Day, I hope. And if you get the opportunity, please hit the like button. I use a few likes here, but you're all welcome to just kind of watch along with me. Thought I'd cover a couple little things this morning. Yes, these are for pins, but I'm not going to be doing the pin turning right now. As you know about pins, the prep work is everything. It's like painting. You have to do a ton of prep work ahead of time on pins. You have to get a proper piece. You have to get it cut down to size. Make it a little tighter. You get it cut down to size. Then you have to drill a hole for it. Then you have to take the little brass tubes and you have to glue them in and let them set for a little bit so they get set. And then you can mount them onto your lathe on a mandrel, and you can actually start turning the pin. And then when you're done turning the wood, then you have to sand it, and then you have to finish it, and then you have to assemble it. There's a lot of work to making a pin that, at least in my experience, pins are nice presents, like gifts to give out to people, but they don't seem to sell too awfully well in a lot of markets. Sometimes they do. It depends on the market you're in, but I found in some markets it's just really hard to sell pens because people don't write anymore. You know, people, kids in school. In fact, in California, they're not even teaching writing script anymore. They just teach them how to print, and that's all they're teaching. Go figure that. So you don't even have to learn how to write like we all learned to write. Of course, you don't have to learn how to actually put sentences together. They got Grammarly and other things for that. But the art of writing has really disappeared a lot, and so that's kind of part of the problem. But we did have some really good tools that we used to use. Just bear with me for just a second. When I was doing this before, this is one that many of you have not seen before, but this is actually built for taking a chunk of wood and boring out your piece, and also putting the hole in the middle at the same time. So you can actually make your blank for turning all in one fell swoop. You just take a large piece of wood that you have, mount it up on the drill press, goes down, and this goes around and cuts the outside while this is boring the hole in the middle. Pretty cool little tool, and I've used it on a couple of pieces that I couldn't really use for anything else. And instead of having to cut down the board first and everything to get to it, I just made a series of corings with this, and was able to make several pins. This is another piece. This is an end trimmer. After you've got everything on and you've put the brass tubing in, and you've got a little tiny bit. I always like to give myself just a little bit of extra wood on either side, which I usually sand off or whatever. But if I have a little bit extra, if I need to square it up, I use this. It goes right in a tube and then just spins here and just trims off the ends on each side of the blank, and another really useful tool. I don't know if any of you use those. Oh, we got BW in here. Yeah, you. Oh, peeps. Yeah, okay. Peeps are cooking. Yeah, well, I guess it's afternoon in a lot of parts, and it's only about what 11 o'clock here. So um, some of you are probably already getting ready for dinner. Don't have too much planned today on Labor Day. It's just another day. When you're retired, it's no longer Labor Day. It's just called Monday. Um, but this one here, this is olive. If you've not seen olive before, it is a wonderful wood. It has just a wonderful smell to it. I just love turning olive. You get these real dark, and that's this hard kind of hardwood. You get this real dark pieces. You get these medium-sized pieces. I mean, colored pieces. It just really is a nice wood. It has lots of figuring, and it has just just great, especially for bowls. Whenever I do olive bowls, they sell out first thing. Out of all the bowls that I'll put out there, even if it's not a good looking bowl, just the fact that it has such beautiful figuring to it, it feels good. It smells great because when you're turning it, you smell the olive oil, and if you like the smell of olive oil, I mean, it fills your room basically with olive oil smell as you're turning it, which is something I can't say about some of the acrylic pens and things like that. So let's see how this one works. This one's a little bit tougher than the other wood that we were turning, which is good. That spalted was a little bit easy to do. And we're coming out the other side. Now, one of the things I was concerned about is having blowout on the bottom. And what I used to use when I was doing a drill press is I'd put a sacrificial piece of wood on the bottom, so as the drill went through the bottom of the pin, we didn't have any blowout, especially with a softer type wood. And let's see here. See, there's just a little bit of blowout, not much, nothing to be concerned with. But that is one of the things I was a little concerned with doing this process. Let me get the other piece on here real quick. When we're done with these, I have a bowl that I need to do a little work on too. So we'll switch over to bowls here in a minute. Oops, stupid me. There we go. Get the speed up. There we go. One thing I don't like about lathes is they have a very small handle on the backside for turning. It's not really comfortable, and I've been thinking about building a bigger one on the back end. I've got one on this end that allows me to hold it much better because otherwise it's a very small little thing to turn to hold on to. I'm thinking of building a handle on the backside too. Um, I assume some of you guys have already addressed that issue. Anybody out there that has made a handle for the other side? Yeah, aromatherapy. I like that. Yeah, it is kind of aromatherapy. I mean, when you turn some of those acrylic or plastic type things, it just smells like melting plastic to me, and it's acrid. It goes up your sinuses, and actually your nose doesn't like it. 8 p.m. BW. Okay, well, I'll try and get this done quick so you can get ready to hit the sack. But why only two jaws on the chuck? Well, that's all it's necessary. It's just holding a very light piece of wood, and it only needs to hold it on two corners. Really, you don't need all four for something like this. Um, and quite honestly, that's the way it was sent. It was sent as a piece of two. This is specifically made for holding pins, not for holding any bowls or anything else. Although it is set so you could do a bowl if you had four of them, but it's not. So I just use it the way it was sent, and I haven't seemed to have any problems so far. Knock on wood. Okay, this last one is birch. It looks somewhat similar to the olive, and I'm sure you guys have got birch where some of you are at, especially in the Midwest and all. It's got a lot of color to it and a lot of pattern to it, as you can see right here. I won't show it up in the camera, but there's the pattern that it makes. So we'll see how this one goes. So I got my choice of actually dozens of different pieces, but that's twice I've done that. But I will probably use three of these or four of these, making some pins on Thursday. One of the problems of getting old is you start doing stupid things like leaving your handle on the truck when you turn the motor on. And I will try not to do that again. But and I know you were asking why only two jaws, but you see it holds it just perfectly fine. Ta-da. And again, a little bit of blowout. Fortunately, I think I made this long enough that I can kind of shave that off after I put the tube in, so there should be some extra room. That's one of the reasons you want to make your pieces a little bit longer than the tubes, is just because of this, because sometimes you do get blowout and you want to make sure that you have a little extra wood there to work with. And we'll try this last piece. This is the last one, I promise. Okay. And see if we can get that in there. There we go. This even has a little chatoyance to it, so it's might look really nice once we get it made into a pin. Let's see. So I would say that this method actually works pretty good and pretty quickly, as long as for the pieces I've done so far. And usually when am going to be doing pins or something like that, I like to get a lot of blanks done all at once. So I just sit here and just keep doing this and get a lot of blanks done out of the way. That way I don't have to go back to setting it all up and doing it a second time. So now I got all my blanks, and there was a little bit of, not too much on this one, so that's pretty good. Okay, so hopefully that works. And we've got 4 sets. Now I can take this off of here, and we'll set this chuck aside because I don't have to use this one. Okay, and we'll pop this out right there. I can set these both aside, out of the way. We can move on to the next piece. I got this little piece of cypress. And by the way, I went out with a friend of mine the other day, and he had a whole bunch of this cypress. And we we spent 2 hours cutting down just some of it, and I now have some really nice pieces. Here's a chunk here, as you can see, and I'm going to be turning this really soon. Look at that red in there. That doesn't that look nice? Problem is, it's already cracking a little bit, even after just a couple days. So I got to get this going pretty quickly, and it's got two limbs. This was actually near a crotch, so if you notice here, it's got two pists in a sense, and that's where it's cracking already. So I've got to get this going before it cracks and becomes something I can't use. So this is going to be a challenge, but I'm going to see if I can't get it going. I might have to do that. Might have to do it today or tomorrow. And I've got some other nice slabs of it too, right here. And this was a relatively small tree, but gave some really nice wood, and no bug marks or anything in this, just solid. But you can see the end here where it might give me a little bit of a trouble. I've got this big inclusion on this side, so I've got to figure out how do I turn it with this on the bottom and maybe make this the bowl part. How do I do this without scooping everything out and losing a lot of things? So it's going to be fun. That's part of the challenge, right? I got a table full of wood here I need to get to. Just one thing at a time. So let me set this up. There we go. What are we saying over here? Mr. Gouthier? Hello. I want to say hello to all you guys because I don't have a chance to read through everybody. But yeah, you saw your sticker there, Mike? Yep, prominently displayed. As Ryan said the other day, you got yours here and got Ryan's 77 rockets right here. Well, here I'll even put BM Wood here too, just so everybody gets a look. But yeah, I mean we're all in this together. So anytime somebody's got a sticker they want to pass along, I'll be happy to put it up on my work place somewhere here. Okay. Now I'm going to do this. Hope you can hear me. I'm going to do this without using my apron because I'm lazy and I don't really want to put it on, but I'm sure I'm going to be covered in just a minute, and that's probably not a good thing. But let me get these other pieces out of the way. One of the problems when you make a lot of little blanks out of different woods, you want to make sure you don't mix them up. You can really have a problem. That's why I write on each piece what they are so I can remember. Not just because I'm getting old, but it's just a matter of practicality. But think what you want. Okay. So let's see. What do we want to use today? Let's start with this one. Now, spin it around with my hand. Make sure I'm not hitting anything. Gonna get closer. No, got it out there. Okay. Turn it on. Yeah. Take a little of that rattle out of there first. All right. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's coming off good. Okay. I know I'm going to lose all this bark, so let's kick it up a little bit. There we go. And that's why we like football season, right? We like to get just a little beat up. So there's a big gap here and a big gap here. We're getting almost round here, but we got a flat spot. So I'm missing a lot of pieces to get this into shape. So then the question is, what am I going to end up with? Well, let's see. I could come up from the sides here, but then I can't on this side because it's a little bit odd. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Maybe I can do it like this and put it so it's going to be kind of a, yeah, I can do that. Let's see if I can do that. I'm going to move you guys a little bit so maybe you get a little bit better view here. Let's see. Like that, maybe? How's that? See if we can get you a better view that way. Hopefully it doesn't shake too much. Might have to change things here. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I can get a lot closer. Now I took that piece off. I think I'm going to go to a different angle here. I got my trusty Carter here. Little trick there. If you're grabbing when you're doing this, drop your arm a little bit down, point up a little bit more, take a slightly different angle. I'm not really biting in here, so. I'm going to have to do that in 2 pieces with it. As I said the other day, I like to take on the challenging ones, pieces of wood that other people probably wouldn't turn, but look at this color if you can, and tell me if that isn't worth trying to turn, huh? What do you think? Hey, Big Max. Glad you make it in here. Yeah, more toys coming in? Great. We always like to play with new toys every week, don't we? This is, by the way, I gotta ask, I keep a couple of floor mats down here on my feet. It gives me more comfort in standing, especially when you're standing on concrete all day long. I would highly recommend you get yourself just a couple of cheap floor mats or even like kitchen mats or something like that to put down here because it is just really nice to stand on that instead of standing on concrete all day when you're turning. Nothing like making your feet happy when you're trying to, take on a piece of wood that doesn't really want to cooperate. You can feel good. Man, this is just really rough. I think I'm going to go in on this tail section for a minute. I don't really need this tail stock out here. I got a faceplate on here. Let's get in here like this. kind of square this off a little bit if we can. Okay. Maybe I can get some light on this for you. There we go. You like my light works? I really do appreciate all of you coming in on Labor Day and hanging out with us here for a couple minutes. I would appreciate it if you could hit the like button or subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you feel so inclined. Mostly this site is a site with tips to help guys that are turning. It's not so much about what I'm turning, it's about the tips and the things that you do along the way to do the turning. So I can kind of design my website or my YouTube channel site around just being helpful to new and even existing turners with passing along tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. Let's see how we look. One of those tips is to stop every couple of minutes, make sure everything is secured still. I got to follow my own directions here. Now this is interesting because I got this missing piece here still. So even if I was to make a tenon or mortise tenon here, I would still not have much to control to hold on to here. So I guess I'm going to have to go a little bit deeper just to get that cleared off. It's not going to leave me a lot on this piece of wood, but we're gonna make something out of it anyway. Well, it sounds like my mass battery is finally dying out. I'm going to have to get a new one, battery in there. So that's looking a little better. Now there's something to hold on to here inside. I'm not going to get any more out here. So give me just a second to take this off. Chat amongst yourselves. You know, if anything's going to stop working, it's going to stop working in the middle of a live broadcast. That's just the way things go. We'll put this one in for charging. Put this one back in. And hopefully we're ready to go again. Okay. Get this one plugged in. Okay, and you're on the clock for the next 14 hours charging. All right, let's see how this goes. Well, good. I've got mask again. Yeah, thanks, Big Max. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we're getting some likes on here. I want to see some more lives from Big Max. I haven't seen you in a while. Big Max was one of my inspirations for going live in the first place. Was to help him and help some others. He's an awesome guy. In fact, please check out Whacking Shack, 77 Rockets, Timber Designs, BW Wood. All these guys in here, they all have their own channels, and a lot of them do their own lives, and it's a nice community to work with, and I really appreciate all their time and efforts and putting up with me, and hopefully we teach each other a little bit. So, and mark this just a little bit inside this here. There we go. I saw one guy today. He used a Forstner bit to drill that hole. That was pretty cool. The bad part was he made it really deep. And as I showed the other day, you only need to go, I think I did 3/16 of an inch on the bowl I did the other day. You don't need much to hold it. You don't need much. In fact, I'm probably going a little bit more than I usually like to right here. Let's see how close we are. We are nearly there. Okay. I like to double check my settings sometimes. There's actually some guys that have an actual dovetail tool here, which gives it just a little bit of a dovetail in. I have to kind of create it myself here. Let's see. Just a little bit small here. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now, something I've said a long time ago in a couple of my other videos, it is not a perfect circle when it is all the way closed. They take a large plate and they cut it, and so the kerf from the saw takes up some of that space. So an actual circle where you have the most, the most contact all the way around is actually about here, where you've opened up just a little bit, where your jaws open up about what would be the kerf or the width of the saw blade that was used to cut this. Okay, that's when you have an actual perfect circle for holding the most that you can in here. So this is just about perfect right there. You don't want to have it opening too wide, because then you're only holding with the top corner of each piece as it goes around. So much smaller than my actual line that I wrote. So I'm glad I didn't need to go double check myself on that. I'm going to clean this up on the bottom here just a little bit, because I always like it to look nicer. Yeah, so it's kind of good. If you have a little bit of excess to work with, I can do this and not worry about not having enough grip. Well, that's interesting there, see? And I'm going to leave that but it still has hold. I'm going to leave that because I think that's kind of interesting. That was a piece of a tree limb that was trying to form in the wood here, and I think we'll just leave that for just because it looks right. Everything else looks pretty good here. I'll take the sandpaper to that later. I'm probably going to lose that little piece. We'll see. And yeah, we'll go for. Actually, you know what? I think I might just go ahead and take that down. Yeah, now I'm inside that, so that's better. So I was going to lose that anyway. It was going to tear out, and this way it'll be nice and crisp. Okay, so we'll try that. Okay, now the outside here. This is the next question. How do we shape this? I'm thinking we're going to kind of have a cone in effect, so I can take a little more of this off, not lose too much of it, and we'll still have it, and I'll be able to use this on the other side. So let's see if I can use that shape. Let's see. Wish me luck. That's a little more shape to it. We can go just a little bit more. In fact, maybe I'll do this. I wonder if I can do a two-tier approach to this. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to throw this through on that. Okay. What do we think of this? A little different? May even save some of it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Need a little opinion here. What do we think? Some people are not able to chat. Is something wrong? I don't think so. I just put it on live and I didn't stop it. So they should be able to. Okay, says leave it as is. Okay. It's not quite a Christmas tree look, but I just thought it was an unusual shape. Michael's having problems. Uh, Whacking Shack, is that Whacking Shack? Big Macs. By the way, we're heading to 106 degrees here today. I don't know what it is in your part of the world, but 106 is pretty hot way to start September. I got to say. I'm gonna adjust this just a bit. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I will. Let me get this out of the way. Oh, Mike Wilson. Wilson having trouble getting in? Wow, Wilson never has trouble getting into my live, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Did we put some sort of tariff on Scott's now or something? I don't know. Well, Wilson, I'm sorry if you can't get in. Um, I haven't done anything to keep you from doing it, but I'll double check the information later in the managing log, see if there's some reason why you're not listed, because you are listed on mine as a host, so you should be able to get in there. Okay. Let's see. There we go. All right. Let's see if we can feather this out a little bit. Now, I'll use I'll use this for now. See what I can do with this. I'm not sure if this is going to be the one I need. It's smoothing it out. Okay. I'm going to get this in here. I have a negative rate scraper here. Let's see how that goes. Oh yeah, it smoothed that up quite a bit. Let's go back on this a little. Oops, sorry. Sorry, guys. Me and my big fat hands. Yeah, let me fix you here. Boy, it doesn't want to stay up. Let me see here. All right. I think we got it. Sorry about the technical problems here. I'm still worried about this rough edge here, though. So, let's see. I clean that up. Oh yeah, that's nice and smooth now. And this hairy stuff, that's going to come off anyway. So I'll show you how we're gonna deal with the hairy stuff here. We're gonna deal with this with my trusty sander. I'm gonna get right in there. I'm gonna have to turn this on for just a minute. I'm sorry for the noise. See that? That's dust collection. That's not vacuum. That's dust collection. Hmm. That sounds like my other battery wasn't charged up as it should have been. So I'll just go without for now. That's okay. There. Do a little on the bottom here. Okay. It's already looking better. So what I do, this is going to be kind of a rough piece. It's kind of going to look like I might end up putting like a little gnome right here and calling this front door to a gnome's house. That may be what we call this is the gnome's house. So we'll see how it comes out. I just never give up on a piece of wood if I don't have to, unless the wood gives up on me. And I knew this was going to be a challenge. And I can always get my wife to make me a little gnome on her scroll saw. We can put right on there. Let's see what we can do here. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. And maybe we'll go to 240 here. That's really giving me a problem there. You see the problem between the softwoods near the bark and the hardwoods as you go in. It really makes sanding kind of an issue when you do this. Okay, let's see how this works. I'll put a little maybe we'll do a little tried and true today, just for something different. Ah, gotta remember to take the inner lid off. That's right. There we go. Let's see if we can make this pop a little bit. Start to see that color come out a little. Okay, so now you can start to see some of the color. Give this a little spin. All right, like that. It's a nice first coat. Missing a couple things. I think I can turn this off now. I'm going to go back to my tongue oil, my favorite here, and see what we can do with this with a brush. Little crevices and corners I can't get into with the rag. And it'll get absorbed in there pretty good. Give it a little bit of a sheen too. Here we are. Get a little on the bottom here. Including this softwood area, because we want to make that a little bit and strengthen up that softwood. It'll help support the tenon better. Real good look at your wood, not just jump in with both feet and start turning away without stopping every once in a while and thinking about what does the wood think about all this? Can it handle the stress? You know, just like people, some woods can't handle the stress, or we're putting more stress on than we need to because we're not giving any help. And here's the help it needs is just a little bit of this that goes in there, dries, hardens in just a couple minutes. That red. What do you think of that? That really made it come out, didn't it? Of course, it will dry and it will mute down some, but I really color. Yeah, I'm going to let this sit and dry for just a moment. Yeah, I kind of like that a lot. Big Mex, I will make you a moderator. I got to, quite honestly, fly very well. Okay, so bear with me if I try to do this, because I don't want to press the wrong button and screw it up royally. Hi, Ryan. Oops. Let's see. Let's see. I can channel activity. Go to channel pin message. Add them as a moderator. There you are. And I will give you a managing moderator position. Big Mex, you're now in. I threw 77 rockets, but let me double check for you too. Nope, you're already as a managing moderator, so you're in. So, not so sure. Anyway, hey, Ryan, William, and hello there. Hope you're enjoying this so far. What do you guys think of this? The red in this cypress. Do you like that color? I think it really pops. And of course, now now I got to go to the inside, and that's going to be where the truth is really told, isn't it? So, see, this is getting pretty dry. Yeah, I think I can handle this. Take it off. Let's take this off. While it's still drying, I can take those off. Oh, wants to have the right bit in here. Come on. Is that not the right bit? Might have to try again. Oh, I see why. Okay. Well, this is really harder than I thought to get to open up. Here we go. There we go. That's right. I think that'll work. Yeah, there we go. So what are y'all doing with your families today? I know some of you are up in the mountains and other places. Hopefully you're having a picnic, something. Me, I'm just turning, basically. But, whatever makes you happy on your Labor Day, right? There we go. We don't want to overstress that. See how it's turning. Oh, darn close to perfect there. So, good. Now we can get inside this thing and see what damage I can do. Gonna have to wear a different mask since my other one's performing at the moment. Nice and tight. Switch to this one. Test the wood first. Okay. Just kind of getting a feel for the wood. I want to make sure I'm not going to have any grids. Now, wherever you have a hole that you drilled for your faceplate, obviously you're going to have a little bit of a snag or a little bit of a piece to hit. So you want to be careful when you're doing that. I'm going to shock everybody and pull out a carbide tool for a minute. Yes, I know. You're all shocked. It's mostly just to establish this lip. And I know some people would use a Forstner bit and kind of create a hole first to get their depth and everything, but I like to just get in there and dig it out. I find sometimes the Forstner hole kind of creates an issue of its own. So let's see. I'll even use this one. This is really hard wood. And the reason I'm using this right now is I want to start going in. And by the way, they make a flat rest. And if any of you can get your hands on like a 4 flat rest, that is a great rest to use when using tools like this that have a flat bottom for when you start getting further in, or even on the gooseneck for undercutting, because it gives you more surface, more control, and you don't have it turning on you. Because on this round thing, it tends to turn on you. With the flat surface, you can actually lay it on the flat surface as you're going in, like this. So if you can get a hold of one of those and it fits your particular lathe, I'd recommend it. I know I saw a couple on, I think it was on BM wood turning, BM wood turners or something like that. Tools with their website has it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I saw it on BM Wood right there. But I know there's some on the other side too, but you need to find one that'll fit your lathe and your tool rest. And make sure you get the right size and everything else. And I can really see the advantage of having that for even when I'm using a scraper tool, actually. It would be handy to use. So now when you're doing this, it feels like you're really far in. And then you stop and you realize you're only in this far. And you're only just barely underneath the skin here, so to speak. I got to be really careful of understanding where the wood ends so I don't make it too thin. But if I don't make it thin enough, it looks like I didn't really finish the job. And that's one thing I remind a lot of you is chunky bowls tend, and you want to do everything you can to make them not seem so chunky, especially when you're having to avoid something because you have something on the outside. Giving it a thin top gives it a different look. It doesn't look like it's made a chunky bowl. It looks a little more refined, a little more finished when you turn a bowl to its full capacity. I just wanted to pass that little word of wisdom along. There we go. And again, I'm only in this far for all that turning. It's and I don't really want to go up too much faster. I could go faster, but put it about 800. Let's see. You want to take lighter cuts. There. Let's see. We are about here in wood, right about in here. So after a little bit, I'm going to get to that undercut, and then I'm going to have to go in just a little bit so I don't cut through this part here, this flap. So I'm going to have to be careful. Let's see how I'm doing here. I'm doing fine here. So light in there a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now, see, if I had Mike from the whacking shack here, we'd put a lid on it. Because I know Mike likes to make lids, and I can still go back and make a lid to fit on this, maybe of a different wood. We'll see. Maybe I can make something like a little roof on top or something. I'll have to look at my wood pile and see what I can make that out of. Maybe a piece of walnut or something. Wow. Yeah, it's really starting to grab there now. So let me switch out of that. Switch into this. Scraper is a little more of a refined cut. Just to kind of clean it up. Okay. Okay, we're right about in the middle here. Now, we got to step down. Let's see. Get out the gooseneck. See what you guys are talking about over here. Dress shopping? I'm not sure what size you wear, but I would say you probably need to go to the big boy section. LJ, you're frozen? Your video froze? I hope not. Hi, Eric. Yard work. Yeah, well, at 106 degrees, I'm not going out and doing yard work. That's why I'm inside here. It's air conditioned. It's relatively comfortable. And I pay somebody to do my yard work mostly. I mean, I do a lot of my own yard work, but I also pay a guy to come out and do some of it. Not that I didn't do it for years. I started when I was 8 years old mowing lawns for others. Now, this is certainly peeling out a little bit. Yep. Love this gooseneck tool, but like I said, we're on a flat tool rest top. It is hard to handle. It's a small piece, and it tends to want to twist in your hands, and so it really cramps up your hands after a little bit. Plus, when you get to this part here, you're now getting to where you're getting extended past it, and it even has more twist to it and less control. Let's see where we're at. Okay, now we're getting down into the bottom part. And I will need to keep an eye on not going too deep, but we're actually getting a bowl out of this now. And as you see, I said earlier, this will start to dry. When it dries, it starts to get not as nice and bright of red as it was before, but it's still pretty red. But it's not quite as bright as it was wet, so to speak. So, okay, I might go back to this one. See if I can get in there with this. These are kind of bowls that are kind of easier to do with a carbide tip if you have the good control of it. And this is certainly fighting me a little bit. Look at that. Even though I'm turning it. There we go. It gets hard to see in there, for one thing. Well, we're moving a lot of material there. Okay, we are now down, right about here. I could probably go down another quarter inch or more. Let's see on the sides. Go in, I can go out just a little bit more. It's pretty smooth. It's got a little bit of a feel right there. Okay, so time to put up the edges. The problem we have is we have a tendency, as we get near the bottom, to kind of curve back in instead of keeping that bottom running flat all the way across. We use a lot of space, if nothing else. You can hear how that, oh, there it was. I was afraid of that. It was sounding thin. Look what happened. Well, this is what happens. So we'll probably have a little tiny candy dish at this point, but I was trying to give it my best shot. And here's what happened. Yeah. As you can see, the strands are running this way here. So I was kind of almost doing an end grain turn-in on this part of the wood, even though there's a lot of, look at the outside. You can see it's wavy and everything. And it fit right here. And well, it was a chance to begin with. And I think this time the bowl won. The bowl won. You could hear it being kind of hollow, and I knew I was getting near the end. More time to get this little bit out of here. But here, it's like really thin. So maybe a 1/16 of an inch or so. So I'd gotten pretty darn close as I could. Oh well. You live and learn, right? It's not a lost morning because I got to spend some time here with you guys. So that's an awesome tool, BW. Which tool are you talking about? The gooseneck? Move the tool rest out and have the. Yeah, I know. I want to, but the thing is, what the real problem was is just it's just round, and there was an awful. I did have a smaller tool rest too that I could have used, but yeah, I'm lazy. What can I say? Yeah, thanks, BW. Yeah, it's just one of those pieces, you know. Like I said, sometimes you go a little thinner than you wanted to. I know you like to go thin too, and generally I can do that. Good news is nothing. The tenon held even during that. I mean, the tenon is still there, and that was not a real deep tenon. I did have the point it pointed a little bit up, but I don't think that's what really caused the grab, because it was I was hogging out wood in there, and I think it just I hit that soft spot I was worried about before, because there's no jagged parts to this. There's no grab pieces. No reason for it to grab. Generally, when you're turning and you're going in like so, generally I like to go like this. Yeah, I did pull it down like that, and that's probably where the breakout occurred when it got pulled down. But I was trying to get it in this way, so the angle is kind of like this, and it just snagged something, and it's doing just fine. So, oh, you know what? Too, just noticed. Ah, I think this might have been the culprit. There's the culprit. This needed to be tightened down. It wasn't the tool that was wobbly. It was that was causing the wobble. It was this right here. I need to tighten that down. Well, learn. Yeah, yeah. This one just wasn't tightened down. Well, for all my admonitions to check your tools, I wasn't checking this tool. I was checking this tool. Well, uh, Nicola. I'm sorry. Where's Nicola? Yeah, it blows up because the point is. Yeah, I do agree with you, Nicola. But I think what originally happened here was, in this case, the blade was not secured on the tool, and that's what snagged and broke it off. So, yeah, like I said, this was an experiment at best anyway. Um, but I think we're going to call it a day, because I know you got to get back to your dinners. But I really enjoyed having you all here, and we do have real live on Thursday. This was just kind of to fill in the blanks, because nobody was doing a live today, and I had some work to do in the shop anyway. So let's um let's all meet again on Thursday if you have the time. It's at 3 o'clock Pacific time. And in the meantime, if you haven't hit a like button, if you would please, I'd appreciate likes, and subscribe. Please subscribe, and you'll get notified of when we're doing lives. But I do appreciate y'all being here. Is there any last questions or comments before we go? Um, okay, Big Max, we'll talk to you soon. And Big Max, I really want to see you turning something again. We got to get you back on the doing some lives here. Um, I know they're a lot of fun. So we'll talk to you all soon, and thank you all for coming today. I appreciate it.